What if most of the 20,000 breaths you take each day are quietly keeping you stressed? And a few simple changes could turn your breath into medicine. Welcome to Beyond the Mind. Today we take a 30-minute journey into the physiology and practice of breath. We'll translate the ancient tools of pranayama into modern biological language, how CO2 tolerance matters, what the Bohr effect actually does to oxygen delivery, why nasal breathing is different from mouth breathing, and how breath practices change autonomic tone and heart-brain coupling. Then I'll lead you through 3 evidence-informed pranayama techniques, a fast micro-practice for immediate anxiety relief, and 2 longer practices for regulation and resilience, with clear step-by-step instructions you can follow now or record for voice generation. I'll close with a 4-week starter plan, safety notes, troubleshooting, and a short bibliography so you can verify every claim. Part 1: Why Breath Matters. An overview in plain biological terms. Breathing is not only about moving oxygen into the lungs. It's also the fastest lever we have to influence autonomic state, the balance between fight/flight and rest/recovery, because breath rhythm directly modulates vagal tone, blood gas chemistry, and baroreflex sensitivity. Slow, controlled breathing increases cardiac vagal activity and heart rate variability, HRV, patterns associated with calmer cognition and better emotional regulation. Fast or shallow breathing tends to drop CO2 in the blood, which can narrow cerebral blood flow and increase subjective anxiety. These are robust, reproducible physiological relationships summarized in modern reviews. C. Zaccaro et al., 2018. Lehrer et al., 2000. 2 physiological concepts matter for understanding why particular breathing patterns work: CO2 tolerance and chemoreflex setpoint. Carbon dioxide is more than metabolic waste. CO2 levels in the blood help set respiratory drive and influence cerebral blood flow. If you chronically overbreathe, chronic hyperventilation, or habitual mouth breathing, your system adapts to lower CO2 and becomes sensitive. Small rises in CO2 may trigger panic or breathlessness, and your baseline autonomic setpoint can favor sympathetic arousal. Training CO2 tolerance. Learning to comfortably tolerate slightly higher CO2 during breathwork or breath holds shifts chemoreflex sensitivity and reduces hyperventilatory reactivity. Methods that gently raise CO2 tolerance are used clinically for anxiety and asthma breathing retraining, though the evidence varies by technique and condition. See Buteyko literature and reviews in clinical breathing research. See Zaccaro et al., 2018. The Bohr effect and oxygen delivery. The Bohr effect is a core physiological principle. Increased CO2 and decreased pH in blood shift the hemoglobin-oxygen dissociation curve, so hemoglobin releases oxygen more readily to tissues. In plain language, when tissues are metabolically active or when CO2 is higher, oxygen offloads more easily where it's needed. Rapid, shallow breathing that lowers CO2 can, paradoxically, reduce effective tissue oxygen delivery despite increasing measured oxygen saturation. This is one reason breath patterns that maintain balanced CO2 often support more efficient physiology. Classic physiology textbooks. See Bohr effect summaries. A third practical detail: nasal versus mouth breathing. Nasal breathing is not just an aesthetic or cultural preference. It changes the air, the chemistry, and the reflexes. The nose humidifies and filters air and produces nitric oxide, NO, a gaseous signaling molecule that dilates airways and improves pulmonary blood flow and oxygen uptake. Nasal inspiration disperses NO into the lungs and supports better oxygen exchange compared with mouth breathing. Chronic mouth breathing bypasses these benefits and often correlates with poorer sleep quality and dysregulated autonomic tone. See Lundberg et al., 1996. Reviews of nasal NO. Taken together, breath patterns change CO2, vagal tone, NO exposure, and baroreflex function, all of which cascade into cognition, emotion, and resilience. That is why pranayama, disciplined control of breath, has measurable effects on anxiety, mood, and physiological regulation. Part 2, the evidence base in brief, what modern science shows. What does research show about breath interventions? Slow, paced breathing around 4 to 6 breaths per minute increases HRV and vagal tone and improves measures of emotional regulation and stress reactivity in multiple studies. These effects form the basis of coherent breathing protocols used in biofeedback and therapeutic contexts. See Lehrer et al. 2000, Zaccaro et al. 2018. Specific yogic practices, including slow diaphragmatic breathing, alternate nostril breathing, and humming exhalations, have been associated in clinical and experimental studies with reductions in anxiety, improvements in mood, and changes in autonomic markers. The magnitude and reproducibility vary across techniques and populations, and randomized controlled trials are mixed, but the overall pattern supports meaningful acute and medium-term benefits when practiced consistently. C. Brown and Gerbarg, 2005. Zaccaro et al., 2018. Techniques that encourage tolerance of CO2, controlled breath holds, and gentle hypoventilation practices used in some traditions appear to change respiratory control and reduce breathlessness in certain clinical groups. These interventions should be learned carefully and often under guidance for people with respiratory or cardiovascular conditions. Clinical breathing literature. See reviews cited below. Important caveat: not every breath technique is safe for everyone. Vigorous pranayama and prolonged breath holds carry contraindications: pregnancy, uncontrolled hypertension, cardiovascular disease, certain psychiatric disorders, epilepsy. We'll give specific safety notes later. Part 3, foundational orientation. Posture, lining up, and breathing mechanics. Before we practice, set the stage. Posture. Sit or lie in a comfortable, upright posture that allows the diaphragm to move. If sitting, choose a chair or cushion with a straight spine, shoulders relaxed, chin slightly tucked. If lying down for a micro practice, keep the neck supported and the jaw soft. Breath mechanics. Aim for diaphragmatic breathing. The belly should soften on inhalation and gently contract on exhalation. Avoid strong chest-only breathing. Place one hand on the belly and one on the chest. The belly hand should move more than the chest hand. Nasal breathing. Breathe through the nose unless otherwise instructed. If nasal passages are blocked, use gentle mouth breathing temporarily and work toward nasal breathing with nasal saline or a warm shower earlier in the day. Comfort and range. All practices below should be comfortable. If you feel lightheaded, dizzy, or panicky, return to a normal, gentle breath and rest. Never force breath. The effects we want are produced by steady practice, not strain. Part 4, micro practice for immediate anxiety relief. 4-7-8 breathing, use anywhere, guided. This is a short, evidence-friendly technique for immediate downregulation of arousal. Use it when you notice anxiety before sleep or as part of a transition. Instructions: approximate 1 to 3 minutes. Sit or lie comfortably with an upright chest and relaxed shoulders. Close your lips lightly and breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath gently for a count of 7. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale fully through the mouth with a gentle, steady sigh for a count of 8. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Repeat for 4 cycles to start. Notice how the body softens. Notes: keep counts proportional if counting is stressful, e.g., 3:5:6 is fine. The point is lengthening the exhale and adding a brief hold to lengthen the overall cycle and favor vagal activity. Use this as a quick reset. Technique popularly associated with Dr. Andrew Weil. Evidence supports extended exhale approaches for calming. Part 5, Practice 1. Coherent breathing, 6 breaths per minute. The physiology-based regulator. Why this practice? Coherent breathing, gently pacing respiration to roughly 5 to 6 breaths per minute. An inhale/exhale cycle lasting about 10 to 12 seconds. Maximizes baroreflex resonance and HRV. This entrainment harmonizes heart and breathing rhythms and is one of the most reproducible ways to increase vagal tone and improve emotional regulation in short sessions. Lehrer et al. 2000, Zaccaro et al. 2018. Guided instruction, 10 to 15 minutes practice. Voice-friendly script. Sit comfortably with a straight spine and relaxed shoulders, or lie on your back with knees bent if you prefer. Place one hand lightly on your belly and one on your chest to feel the diaphragm move. Breathe through the nose. If nasal passage is blocked, breathe softly through the mouth until you can switch to the nose. We'll use a 5-second inhale and a 5-second exhale. Inhale for 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale for 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If 5 seconds feels too long, start with 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. 6 breaths per minute is the target range. Continue this pace for 10 minutes. Keep the breath soft and effortless, no pushing or forcing. Let the belly expand slightly on the inhale and soften on the exhale. If your mind wanders, gently return attention to the counting and to the sensation of the belly rising and falling. After 10 minutes, allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm and notice any changes. Subtle calm, ease in the chest, slower thoughts, or a slight warmth. Practical suggestions. Use a timer with gentle chimes or a guided audio that paces the inhale/exhale. Practice twice daily for short sessions, 10 minutes in morning and evening, to build baseline HRV benefits. Combine coherent breathing with soft, non-judgmental attention to inner experience. This increases both physiological and psychological regulation. Part 6. Practice 2. Alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. Balancing sympathetic/parasympathetic tone. Why this practice? Nadi Shodhana, also called alternate nostril breathing, is a classical pranayama used to balance and harmonize the nervous system in yogic systems. Modern studies suggest it modulates autonomic balance and interhemispheric coordination, likely through its attentional focus, controlled breathing rhythm, and nasal airflow dynamics. It is gentle, accessible, and safe for most people. Classical yogic texts. Contemporary studies summarized in breath reviews. Guided instruction, step by step, 8 to 12 minutes practice. Sit comfortably upright with a straight spine and relaxed shoulders. Rest your left hand on your left knee. Bring your right hand to your face. Use the right thumb to close the right nostril, the ring finger to close the left nostril, and the index/middle finger to rest lightly between the eyebrows or fold them in a traditional jnana mudra, thumb and index finger touching. Use whichever hand position is comfortable. Close the right nostril with the right thumb and inhale slowly and gently through the left nostril to a comfortable count, for example, in 4 counts. Close the left nostril with the ring finger, release the right nostril and exhale gently through the right nostril for the same count, 4 counts. Inhale through the right nostril for the same comfortable count. Close the right nostril, release the left nostril, and exhale through the left nostril. That completes 1 round. Continue for 8 to 12 minutes, keeping the breath soft, even, and nasal. End the practice by exhaling through both nostrils and resting with natural breathing for a minute. Notice any shift in calm or balance. Notes: keep the breath natural and do not strain to match counts exactly on early attempts. The technique's balancing effects arise from focused alternation and steady rhythm. If you are congested or find one nostril blocked, practice gentle diaphragmatic nasal breathing on your preferred side until passage is clear. Contraindications are minimal for this gentle practice, but consult a clinician if you have cardiovascular instability. Part 7. Practice 3. Bhramari, B breath. Vagal stimulation and immediate downregulation. Why this practice? Bhramari, the humming bee breath, produces a long, sustained exhalatory hum that appears to stimulate the vagus nerve and promote rapid relaxation. The internal vibration and prolonged exhale generate a calming sensory feedback loop and modulate autonomic tone. This is a fast and effective practice for acute agitation or insomnia preparation. Clinical and physiological studies on humming and vagal stimulation, summarized in breath reviews. Guided instruction 5 to 10 minutes practice. Sit with an upright spine and relaxed shoulders. Close your eyes and soften the jaw. Take a gentle inhalation through the nose on the exhale. Make a low, steady humming sound, like a gentle bee. Keeping the mouth closed and letting the sound resonate at the base of the skull and in the chest. Keep the tone steady for the entire exhale. Aim for a 4 to 6 second hum on the exhale initially. Repeat for 8 to 12 cycles. Notice the vibration in the throat, chest, and skull. Finish with a normal inhale and a long, silent exhale. Then rest for a minute with natural breathing. Notes: don't strain the throat. The hum should be comfortable. Bhramari is especially useful as an immediate reset. Practice before public speaking, before sleep, or during moments of high tension. Part 8. Putting it together. An integrated 30-minute session blueprint. If you want a single practice to do that fits a 30-minute session, here's a balanced flow combining the techniques above. Midnight to 2 o'clock. Opening orientation. Settle posture. Diaphragmatic baseline breathing. Brief body scan 0.02:0006:00. Micro practice. 4 rounds of 4-7-8 breathing to lower initial arousal and bring attention to breath 0.06:00. 18:00. Coherent breathing. 10 to 12 minutes at 5 breaths per minute. Focus on gentle abdominal movement and even counts 0.18:00. 24:00. Alternate nostril breathing. 6 minutes of Nadi Shodhana to balance left/right nasal airflow and stabilize attention 0.24:00. 28:00. Bhramari. 4 cycles of humming exhale to stimulate vagal tone and promote calm 0.28:00. 30:00. Soft landing. Natural breathing, gentle stretch, and 1 to 2 minutes journaling or noticing changes in body and mind. Part 9. 4-week starter plan. Building breath as medicine. Week 1 foundation. Daily, 2 minutes of 4-7-8 breathing morning and evening. Evening, 2 minutes of diaphragmatic calming breath before bed. Goal: increase interoceptive awareness and start nasal breathing habit. Week 2 regulation. Daily, 10 minutes coherent breathing once per day. Continue 4-7-8 as needed. Alternate nostril practice every other day for 5 to 8 minutes. Start a simple log. Note stress level pre/post practice. Week 3 integration. Coherent breathing twice daily, 10 minutes each. Bhramari practice nightly before sleep, 3 to 5 minutes. If comfortable, try 1 WBTB style short breath hold practice. See safety notes to explore CO2 tolerance under controlled conditions. Week 4 habit consolidation. Combine a 20 to 30 minute full session 3 to 4 times this week using the integrated blueprint above. Evaluate changes in sleep, baseline anxiety, and HRV if you track it. Adjust frequency based on daytime sleepiness and resilience. Part 10. Troubleshooting and safety. Common issues and what to do. Dizziness or lightheadedness during practice. Stop, return to normal breathing, sit or lie down, and rest. This usually indicates hyperventilation or excessive breath strain. Reduce depth and speed. Prioritize comfort. Panic or breathlessness during breath holds or strong pranayama. Stop and breathe naturally. If you have panic disorder or PTSD, avoid intense breath manipulation without professional guidance. Nasal obstruction. Use saline rinse or steam to clear passages. You can practice mouth-based diaphragmatic breathing temporarily, but aim to restore nasal breathing. Sleep disruption from evening practice. Keep intense, energizing pranayama earlier in the day. Prefer calming practices, coherent breathing, Bhramari, for 7-8 in the evening. Medical contraindications. Consult a clinician before practicing. Uncontrolled hypertension or cardiovascular disease before trying vigorous pranayama or prolonged breath holds. Pregnancy. Avoid strong breath retentions and inverted postures. Use gentle, calming practices. Epilepsy. Vigorous breath retention or hyperventilation may lower seizure threshold in some people. Severe respiratory disease. Asthma or COPD patients should get medical clearance for breath retraining. Part 11: What to expect and how to measure progress. Breath training yields both immediate and gradual effects. Immediate. After a short session, you may notice slowed heart rate, cooler hands, calmer mind, and clearer attention. Medium term. Weeks improved sleep onset, reduced daytime reactivity, increased breath awareness, and sometimes improved HRV if you measure it. Long term. More stable baseline autonomic balance and resilience under stress when practice is consistent. Simple metrics to track. Subjective stress scale, 1 to 10, before and after practice. Sleep onset latency, how long to fall asleep, dream recall or nightly restfulness. Optional, HRV app or device readings before and after a 10-minute coherent breathing session. Part 12. Integrating breathwork into daily life. Use breath as a signal. Take 3 coherent breaths before important meetings or difficult conversations. Anchor breath to routines. After brushing teeth, take 5 coherent breaths as a cue. Micro resets. Use 4-7-8 in transit, before sleep, or anytime tension spikes. Combine with movement. Brief walking intervals with nasal diaphragmatic breathing support integration. Avoid breath holds while moving vigorously. Part 13: Ethical frame and intention. Pranayama is not a magic bullet. The practices are tools. They change physiological signals that shape attention, emotion, and habits. Aim to use breathwork to support ethical behavior, clear intention, and compassionate action. If you adopt practices from traditional lineages, honor their context. Many traditions pair breathwork with ethical precepts, meditation, and service. Part 14: Closing, resources, and call to action. If you're ready to start right now, begin with the 4-7-8 micropractice for acute calm. Then try coherent breathing for 10 minutes daily this week and add alternate nostril breathing every other day. Track simple markers like stress level and sleep quality. Sources and suggested reading to verify claims. Zaccaro A. Pirulli A. et al. 2018. How breath control can change your life. A review on respiratory interventions and their effects on autonomic and emotional regulation. Review summarizing physiological and clinical evidence. Lehrer P. M. Vestillo E. Vestillo B. et al. 2000. Heart rate variability biofeedback and paced breathing, mechanisms and clinical applications. Foundational work on coherent breathing and HRV. Lundberg, J. O. Weitzberg, E. et al. 1996. Nitric oxide in exhaled air. Implications for airway physiology. Work on nasal NO and respiratory function. Brown, R. P. and Gerbarg, P. L. 2005. Sudarshan Kriya Yogic Breathing in the Treatment of Stress, Anxiety, and Depression. Clinical Overview of Yogic Breathing Interventions. Classic physiology texts on the Bohr effect and respiratory gas exchange. Safety reminder. If you have cardiovascular disease, uncontrolled hypertension, epilepsy, are pregnant, or have severe psychiatric conditions, consult a qualified clinician before starting intensive breath work or prolonged breath hold practices. If this script was helpful, subscribe to Beyond the Mind for more episodes that blend ancient practice and modern science. Like the video if you learned something new, and tell us in the comments. Which breath practice will you try today? For 7-8, coherent breathing, or alternate nostril? If you want a printable one-page protocol, an MP3 guided version for bedtime, or a short 10-minute voice-only track for coherent breathing, write download protocol in the comments or check the description for links. I can also produce timestamp segments or a meditation-style audio mix for each practice. Breathe with care. Practice consistently. Use breath as medicine, not to escape life, but to show up more fully in it.